All right. Ah, what a great honor it is to host such amazing women in the house today. It's quite an honor. And I would love to welcome all the audiences and everyone who's watching. Welcome to the Micro de Mathieu. Today we're dwelling on an important topic, women empowerment in Africa. And we have six panelists with us today, but I think the others will join a bit later. Maybe they're facing challenges, but we can start for the time being. So I'll give it over first to Fadi. Fadi, so can you introduce yourself? Then Petronella will follow after you.
Okay, Matthew, thank you so much for having us on this panel. My name is Fatsoma Kombe. I am a strategic information and evaluation officer at a youth focused NGO, and I'm a social work graduate. My research project was on gender based violence, which is very much in alignment with this. And I am also the founder of a newsletter called Passy Perspectives. That is me. Thank you. Is it my network? Petronella, can you hear me? Yeah. Mm.
Hi, Matthew. Can you hear me? I
Ah,
think we did lost everyone.
yeah. I think something happened, but is everyone now hearing me? Because the network this side is, I don't know what happened to the network.
I can hear you.
Everyone hear me now?
There was a glitch somewhere there. I couldn't see everyone.
Well, but can everyone now hear me?
I can hear you this side.
All right. Um, so I think let's start because this network is really challenging today. So firstly, I would like first, Fadiso Makombe, can you introduce yourself to the audience? Yeah, Fadiso, can you hear me?
Okay, Matthew. I think
Okay,
we.
Matthew, I think we.
Yes, the network, like today, things are really working against us today. The network is very weak.
Yeah, the network is really
Yeah, the
bad.
network is really bad.
Yeah, today it's like it's a Saturday, so I think everyone is on their phone, so they're using the Wi-Fi and the network for themselves. So, for whoever is just good in the network, can we start introducing ourselves? Let's start with Fadji. So, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I hope you can hear me, guys. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So
Yes.
my name is Fatsoma
Can
Kombe.
we introduce ourselves? I hope everyone is hearing it this time.
Okay, I hope you can hear me, guys. Can everyone
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
hear me?
I can get you.
Okay,
Yes,
I
I
am
can hear
Fatsoma
you now.
Kombe. I am a
Okay.
strategic information and evaluation officer. I am a social work graduate, and I'm also a founder of the newsletter called Pasi Perspectives. That is Fatsoma Kombe. And my research project was on gender-based violence. So it quite aligns with the topic that we have tonight. That is me. Could everyone hear that? Was that audible? Am I
Yeah,
talking to
yeah,
myself?
yeah.
Okay.
That was audible. Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe we can proceed to Petronella.
Like it's breaking on my end.
Okay. So can you guys hear me? So maybe I can proceed to introduce myself as we wait for Matthew to reconnect. Uh-huh. Is my network bad also? Petronella, can you hear me? So, Petronella, am I audible in your side? Oh, Matthew, you're back. I don't know if you
Okay.
can hear me because
No,
it's
I'm
messed up
trying my
here.
best. I'm trying my best today. It's like even God is trying to do something today. I don't know what's happening, but can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, you can hear you. I think also Petronella's network got frozen.
Yeah, today is like I don't know. Is it Valentine's Day? What's happening?
Oh,
Wow. All right. So no, you can start because I think you have good network. Can you just introduce yourself, and I think others will come after you introduce yourself.
all right. So again, so hello and good evening, everyone. So this is Michelle Wanjiku. Unfortunately, I can't even dare to turn on my video because the network today is very unstable. So please next time. So applied statistics graduate from here, Kenya. And over the past 3 years, I've experience in research, in data analytics, and also I've served as the first female regional coordinator at Africa Students for Liberty. So apart from that, I'm so passionate about digital rights, women empowerment, women leadership. So yeah, tonight I look forward to networking with all of you, sharing the common values that we all believe in into the discussion. So beside that, a chapter lead for the Kenya Center for New Libertarianism, which I founded just this year. So yeah, I look forward to engaging with all of you in this discussion. Thank you so much. Back to you, Matthew.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, and I just hope the network remains like this. So we can go forward with Petronella. Can you also introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, thank you. And I am a pharmacist by profession. I am an entrepreneur and I am also a women's health enthusiast. I'm also a women's meeting all of you guys. Looking forward to connecting with you guys and also learning more from you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Over to you again, Fadiso. Can you introduce yourself? Yeah, Fadiso, can you introduce yourself? Or the network again is challenging that side.
Okay. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can, man.
All right. Once more. My name is Fatsoma Kombe. I am from Zimbabwe. I am a strategic information and evaluation officer at a youth focused NGO. I'm a social work graduate. I am also a founder of a newsletter called PASI Perspectives. PASI meaning ground perspectives. My research project was also on gender based violence. So that aligns with the topic that we have tonight. So I look forward to it. And thank you. Back to you, Matthew.
Wow. Thank you so much. Finally, at least the conversation has started and the network is stable now for a while. So now we're dwelling on the topic women empowerment in Africa. So this will be just random, and I'm sure that we all are in support of it and we advocate for it in our different fields, just as you said, Fadiso, Petronella, and Michelle. So I'm going to start first with Michelle. Michelle, my question to you is, in your role as the first female regional coordinator at the ASFL, can you tell me how the experience was as a woman who has really reached to that level or breaking through the barrier of patriarchy? Over to you, Michelle. Wow, wow, wow. Oh
Whew,
yeah, the network. The
we
wow,
are
everything.
working against serious
Today,
odds here.
today is really amazing. Like I thought it's just me, but I think everyone is facing it. Like even Michelle from Zambia, it seems the network is out. Like it's not stable, but she's back again. Yeah, Michelle, are you now with us?
Oh yes, I'm now back.
All right. So my question first was to you that in your role as the first female regional coordinator at ASFL, can you tell me the challenges and how it really felt, to be the first woman to achieve something in a very patriarchal structure or organization, or I might say a company?
All right, thank you so much, Matthew. Actually, to achieve and to being the first female regional coordinator for the African Students for Liberty Leadership Team, yeah, it was a privilege, I can say. It was an honor, something that to break that barrier for many women who believe that maybe some of the positions were made for the men. So stepping into that role, it was a huge burden for me because one, I need to outstand. We had some exceptional, like previous regional coordinators, the likes of I can mention, like I don't want to shout out their name, but yes, they were really exceptional. They had won really big awards. Then it came up now to yes, Michelle, you are coming in as the first female regional coordinator. To me, I knew that this I'm going to encourage a lot of young women out there to take up this leadership position. When I entered, I started a program called the Leadership Series. So, this leadership series, we brought together the senior coordinators who had done with their roles. They have served with Students for Liberty. Now they are advancing to the afterlife of being volunteers. So we are bringing them to come and to encourage the local coordinators to talk about their stories. How was it for them to navigate their leadership journey? Then I also came up with a program that is the Tech Liberty campaign. So the Tech Liberty campaign also brought together different leaders across Africa. So as Students for Liberty, we have local coordinators across 35 countries here in Africa. So we are bringing in, imagine a Tech Liberty campaign that's bringing the young people from different parts of the continent to come and to speak in their own languages. So we could have a video recorded in French, in English, in Portuguese. So that was a nice project. But now the disadvantage or now something challenging on my side is I don't speak French. I don't hear Portuguese, but I have to coordinate this training for these leaders. And as the first female regional coordinator, I was coming in, I wanted to bridge that gap of the language barriers because most of the coordinators they couldn't get this message that you are going to spread out because of language barrier. So I wanted to bridge that by having trainings being conducted in Portuguese, being conducted in French, and that campaign was like a kickstart for that whole program which I was thinking. Now, looking at the challenges, myself, I had that barrier of people being told, okay, maybe Michelle, you're not that verbal in terms of public speaking. You're a lady, you're setting up this program, but when you're going out to talk about like these trainings, you feel like you have to step down a little bit and let others like lead. But how I did navigate that challenge is one, I had to believe in myself. I had to believe, like, you know what, Michelle, you are stepping into this big role. You have to, like, don't let yourself down. You have a whole team of Africa looking up to you, looking up to the program that you're going to bring, looking up to the impact that you're going to bring out of it. So I started with, training these young coordinators how to do simulations. For instance, we could have training before the leadership monthly meetings. We just have a one-on-one where I could train them. Like that mentorship program, to me, it was really important. The way I was mentored to taking that role, that is the way that I use that mentorship role to encourage my local coordinators and also as myself. That's how I grew from that barrier of public speaking. So the next one I could say, is we as women sometimes we tend to think low of ourselves, and if you let that get to your head, it's going to mess you up. So as a first regional coordinator, I had to tell myself I can do better. Every single morning I woke up and I could tell myself, today we are doing better. If this program passes, if this fails, we shall, at the end of the day, you know that you really tried your best and you see the people who you are making impact. If today you train one, tomorrow you're training two. And I can tell you, at the end of that fiscal year, the group was so successful. Out of a team of around 12 coordinator, that is 11 minus myself. So you could find around three proceeded to the national coordinator role. We had one going to the regional coordinator role. So to me, it was really a successful. So yes, that's how I navigated the challenges. That's how I was able to work and bring my impact as the first female regional coordinator in Africa. So yes, thank you, Matthew. Back to you.
Wow, that's really an amazing story and journey. I feel like maybe if we have more people who are going through these journeys just like that, I'm sure of it in 2026, or let me just say 2030, we'll be somewhere as a nation, maybe bigger, maybe stronger, even more a bit woman empowered. Thank you so much for that, Michelle. And I really loved the fact that you overcome public speaking. That's a challenge that many women are facing these days. And achieving the leadership role, it's quite like it's like a miracle, especially in this generation of ours where we know that we still have the gender-based violence, we still have the that narrative of saying that men are stronger or are mentally capable of taking up leadership roles more than women. But however, that's a really fraud thought because I'm even comparing it to last year. Like last year, I attended the graduation at the University of Zimbabwe, and the stats were really shocking as 52% of the graduates were women and 48 were men, meaning that women are really smart, they are intelligent, and they know how to navigate in many things because they can multitask. So thank you so much for that, Michelle. I really loved it. And before continuing, would love to welcome Mpo for joining us. Mpo, can you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us more about you? Over to you, Mpo.
Good evening, everyone. Our esteemed guest. I'm so sorry about that. Like, I had a problem with my network and technology. I think you can swear I was not born in the 90s. My name is Mpoma Duane. You can say I was not born in the 90s. It's
Sure.
deeply me.
Yeah.
But I've managed to join. Thank you so much, and I'm so
Mhm.
sorry about the delay on my side. My name is Mpoma Duane, and I'm from South Africa. I have a bachelor's degree in public administration from University of Limpopo and an honors degree in political science and international relations from UNISA. I've been into youth participation for so long now. I've started with the Activate Change Drivers program, where we were engaging in youth programs and community mobilization, specifically in the rural areas. And then I then went on to South African Institute for International Affairs, where we indulge more on climate action. How can we improve uh, women who wants to be in leadership, where we include them in the climate action policies? Because if we're going to say we want to empower women, we need to look at the issue of intersectionality. I believe that the best way to actually address the struggles of women is to follow the document or the framework called the intersectionality, because women experience struggles differently. So we have middle class women, we have women living in the rural areas. They cannot experience the same struggles. And then I also went on the conflict lab where I was a program assistant. We were actually doing the grant writing proposals for institutions. Thank you so much. Back to you, the host.
Wow. Thank you so much for that elaborative and quite intriguing introduction. I love it. And thank you so much for all you do for empowering women. It's really an innovative and impactful action to do. So, I would like to ask you again, Paul. Would you say that governance and diplomacy, I think this is the most or the focus of your academics and the current things that you are doing. Would you say that women empowerment is really a reality in those places? Because empowering one woman out of 100, is it really empowering a woman? Or you could just say that that's a fraud. According to you, can you expagorate on that?
Thank you so much. Oh, I can say that we are at a slow pace in South Africa. We do have some changes. We do have empowerment. We do have women that are in leadership position. But the only thing I'm worried about here, Mateo, is women in rural areas. If we're going to be talking about local economic development in some rural areas, we have to include agriculture, because agriculture is the main source of income. I am here to tell you that Bell Hooks once said, women of color are always caught at the intersection. They struggle not only because they are women, but also because they are Black women. But even in the Black women, we do not experience the same struggles the same. We have our Black middle class. They may experience some patriarchal norms and power dynamics in the workplaces. We might have someone in the rural areas where he does not even have access to basic needs. So, my argument here is to say we must follow the framework of intersectionality. And if we fail to consider that framework, our efforts to promote gender equality might be limited in our impact. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for that innovating. And as usual, I know you're not of the 1960s, right? All right. Then over to you, Michelle. I would want to ask Michelle, could you say that the global north, which is the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and all these other developed countries, are pacing up their women empowerment more than Africa? Or would you say that we're still in a world where women empowerment is still rare? Over to you, Michelle.
All right. Could you pardon? I think my network kinda, you are breaking on my end.
All right. So I was saying this. Um, if you had to compare the global north, which is the United Kingdoms, the United States of America, and all these developed countries, would you say that women empowerment is more pacing up that side, or it's still the same in all over the world, as in women empowerment is still rare and it's growing, and growing slowly but surely. Over to you, Michelle.
All right, so if I catch you is if I could compare, let's say, the UK, the US, and comparing with Africa, how the women growth is coming up, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, so I could say, when you look at the western part of the world and Africa, there are different ways of how we African like approach, like when we say like women empowerment. So Africa itself, it's growing. If you look at different positions in terms of technology, a lot of women have risen up in Africa here to lead in technology spaces. I could mention we have a lady in Zambia who won the Tech Liberty, is it the Tech Space Women Award? We have really wonderful women here in Kenya running the Bitcoin Data space. We have a lady who co-founded the Tando, which is a Bitcoin platform. So however much like I don't want to compare the two, but if I could really speak for Africa region, the women they are coming up. Women empowerment, it does not just be like a word. We are going to just say, okay, women need to be empowered. We have now brought it to the community. We women ourselves, we are going out. We women ourselves, we are going to create platforms that generates income for the others. We women ourselves, we are the ones now taking up this ball movement, not just saying words. We are bringing in action. So, however much we love to compare ourselves with the rest, no, Africa, we are in a really big space. Look at the president of Namibia. She's a lady. Look at the president in Tanzania. Tanzania is being led by a woman. So, Africa itself is growing up. So I I don't know, even if I try to, count for the is it the UK, the US. So those all I could just mention the men, but in Africa itself,
Yeah.
it's coming up. Africa, we are coming up, and women, we are no longer just sitting back and doing the traditional roles of, you go wash utensils, you go do that. Women, we are taking up these difficult courses that men could impress. We women ourselves, we are impressing it. So to you, Matthew, Africa is growing, and Africa, we can't even compare it with the Western. We just have to be Africans for Africa. Yeah, back to you.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. And it's really good hearing woman empowerment from a woman's perspective and a woman voice. It's different for me saying that I support women empowerment. It's quite, controversial, but for you, it's quite standing and impactful. So I would also like, before asking for this, I would love to ask Mpo, as Mpo, you told us that you're focusing more on the rural areas where women are not being given the opportunity to lead in the local segments and sectors, and maybe the municipalities within the local regions. So my question is, do you think that the reason is mostly based on education, as we see most women in local areas have never exceeded, let's say, higher in early marriages and all of that?
Um,
Would you say that's the reason why women empowerment is lacking in the local areas?
Thank you so much, the host. I don't think education is the problem or is the hindrance with regards to the rural areas. There is an equal power relations that exists between a man and a woman, and
Mpo, can you hear me, Mpo?
unhealthy. Yes, can you be able to hear me? Can you hear me now? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, Mpo, we can't hear you. Are you still with us, or you're back to the network challenge zone?
But I can hear her. If you can hear me, I can hear her speaking.
Yeah, I think it's our host. It's the one that cannot hear
It's
us.
his network, yeah.
Yeah, it's his network. We'll just have to wait for him to come back.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, yeah. Today is an intriguing day today. It's really awesome.
Okay, I can hear your back, but we can't hear you.
Well, can you hear me now? Hello, Umpo, can you hear me?
This side I can hear you, Matthew.
All right, that's great. So let's just move over to you for
Uh,
this. So for now,
yes,
oh, Umpo, are you back?
I can't hear him. Can you hear him, Fuzzy?
Yes, I
No,
can hear him this side.
no, I
And I
think
can hear
maybe
you, but I can't hear him. That's so strange. Because I
what
can hear
what?
you, but I can't hear.
No, but I'm
But I
hearing
can
you. Like,
see which he's actually speaking, but I can't hear him. But I can hear you.
And he's saying he
no,
can hear you back.
yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
I
but I
can't.
can't hear him. Okay. You talk about the challenges that the rural women are facing. There is unequal power relations that exist between a man and a woman, especially in the rural areas. There are some of unhealthy traditional norms that are being practiced in the communities. So I can't really say it's education. If there are power dynamics already, you cannot be able to access basic needs such as education, empowerment, or women in leadership position, maybe a municipal officer or anything. So in the rural areas, the most challenge is traditional norms and cultural norms that continue to pervade our lives. So if we can actually try to challenge those traditional norms, we can be able to empower the rural woman.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paul. You said you're not hearing me, but I heard you. So the mediator is Fadzi. So now, Fadzi, so can you now
I'll
tell
be
her
the
that I heard you?
mediator. So for
Okay.
Matthew is saying thank you so much. He can hear you clearly and he got what you were saying.
Thank you so much. It's so strange because I can hear you, but I can't
Yeah,
actually hear him. So how am I going to
It's
answer
very
the questions?
strange.
You'll just be a translator. Thank you so much. Back to you.
yeah. I think Fadzi, so you have now a new position. You'll be the translator.
I
You
mean,
communicate to her.
what a good position for me.
All right, over to you, Fadzi. So my question to you, as a social worker and a person who wrote a thesis or research on gender-based violence, do you think that women empowerment is really limited due to the negative factors such as violence, maybe child marriages, and let's say early dropping out of school, and all those physical abuses? Can you add all of
So
that
as we wait
to
for our host to be back,
women empowerment?
maybe Makobe, you can maybe share a little bit what you are doing with human empowerment in
All
terms
right.
of your the work that you are doing
No,
back in Zimbabwe there.
no, can Michelle
Wait,
hear me? Okay, this is becoming
I think
weird.
I'm the only one who can hear you.
Okay, so you're the only one who's seeing me.
Okay, Fazizo, where are you? Are you in Zimbabwe?
I am in Zimbabwe. Matthew, you are in Zimbabwe as well.
And then
Yes.
Michelle,
Can
where
you
are
tell?
you?
Can you tell Michelle that I can hear her?
Yes, and it's you like you want to know.
No. Okay.
Okay, so
Can anyone
Michelle,
hear me apart from Fadzi?
Matthew is saying he can hear you. Can you
For
hear him?
myself, I'm joining from Kenya.
Or are you joining from Kenya? Hey,
Interesting.
Kenya.
Okay.
Hi.
Now. Okay. Hello, guys. Like, I'm not even in the room again. Am I in the room?
Unfortunately, no. I can hear you, but I don't think they can hear you. Michelle,
Okay.
can
Can
you
you
hear
ask
me?
Michelle? Can you
Maybe he
ask her?
can just
Can
try to
No,
rejoin.
I can't hear him.
But you can hear
I
me.
can't hear him.
Okay, can you
Yes,
see
we can
me?
hear you,
Okay,
No,
so
can
but
they
they
we
see
both
can't.
can
me?
But
hear me.
yes, but we can't hear him.
They
But you
can
can
see you
see
because
me.
they can see that you're moving and saying something.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what's happening, but okay. Anyways, like over to you, Fadzia. Just the questions that Michelle asked. Can you tell us like how women empowerment and the gender-based violence that you were researching on are really in connection? As in, is it a limitation to women empowerment in Africa?
Okay, so basically my research was on the perspectives of men on gender-based violence. What I was trying to do is to not focus on the women themselves, but to focus on the perpetrators so that we can really find the root cause of these abuses, of these problems. So I looked at a mining community, which is Kwekwe, and most of the problems, if we look at it, are economic. So now, when we have economic problems that these men are facing with their wives, obviously, you notice that there is a lot of stressors that cause them to be violent towards women. So that becomes a problem for women. So, from my perspective, we need to look at this women empowerment issue from a from a wider perspective, because when a country has struggles, when a community is struggling with economic issues, that will be a problem for the women that we are trying to empower. So that is a great limitation when it comes to what I was researching on. So the challenges come when we try to just look at the women, focus on the women. How about everything that is surrounding a girl child? So Matthew, you also asked if these challenges like education and abuse are limitations. Yes, they are, because we will not be able to empower a woman who is being shut down by these problems. I think I am left alone in this. Can you guys hear me? Mm.
Oh, you are back.
Yeah,
We have
we're going through
lost
a
you.
lot.
We are
Yeah,
going through
We're
a
going
lot.
through a lot.
we are
Yeah.
going
Going
through the
through a
No,
lot.
most.
seriously.
As a
No, no,
continent.
no. Uh,
As a continent, how can we
You
empower
are
I,
back.
women?
Ah,
I think next time we should be talking about network empowerment, connectivity
Yeah, we need to
empowerment.
talk about this,
or rather,
connectivity.
how can
Mm.
we approach global governance and continental agenda?
Mm.
It's
Honestly,
very vital. It's
honestly.
very
True.
vital. Yes.
Yeah,
No, really,
this
this is
is
not really
a
good.
continental crisis.
Mm,
Seriously. Yeah, 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 yeah. And
But
anyways,
at
yeah,
least
I even
now
forgot to
we
ask,
got you.
right?
You're back. Yes, we can hear you. At least.
Oh, you can now hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you and we can
Ah,
see you.
that's good.
finally, at least it's now. Yeah, that's good. At least we don't need to translate anymore, right? Yeah, so back to your role, Fadi. So, now you're the same social worker focused on gender-based advocate, or let me just say woman empowerment. So you were talking
Yes,
about how gender-based is a limitation to women empowerment. Yeah, you can continue from when you
yes.
stopped.
Okay, so as I was saying, how can we empower a woman that is facing the struggles of her husband or a whole community that is focusing on how to get money, how to better their lives? Everything is going to be heavy on a woman because when their husband, like I said, I was looking on the side of perpetrators. When I was asking these men questions, they would tell you that a lot of struggles that they are facing make them become people that they don't even know. And that issue is a woman issue. Of course, um, we might say a man has to make sure that they do not abuse their women just because they are facing problems and all of that. But this comes back to mental issues. This comes back to how the whole continent is really depriving a woman of empowerment through how she is staying with everyone else around her. So now we are saying there are so many obstacles around women empowerment. And we cannot just focus on the women alone. We have to focus on these economic issues. We have to focus on these mental stressors as Africa.
Wow. Wow, that's really interesting. Interesting. It even brought me to another question when you said, it's not just about women empowerment, but it's about the economy and all the other factors in the economy. So I really wanted to ask you this question again. Currently, in Zimbabwe, which we are all inside, and I'm sure you are too. Um,
Yeah.
right now, um, they've established or they made the gender commission to join up again, like it was broken down, so it's not again standing alone. So it's now intersected in the other commission, meaning that the women empowerment cases or gender based violence cases will be treated as other cases. So, according to you, will this be a move to women empowerment, or this is now making the dream of we are all together or Vision 2030 being impossible, especially for women empowerment?
As a strategic information and evaluation officer, I always say numbers matter. And when we look at this gender commission, to be very honest, it is quite impossible if we focus on it as it is right now. It is quite impossible for the woman child, for the girl child to be empowered. Because what we are saying is when we focus on a girl child, everything that is around this child. Oh my, can you hear me?
Yes, I
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you very clear.
Okay, sorry.
Mm.
My screen had. So everything around a child has to be measured. A girl child, it has to be measured. We have to come to a point where we say, well, we were working on this and we got to this point. We cannot fix what we cannot measure. So sorry, I think I'm backtracking. Can you please repeat your question?
All right, no, no, I think you're still answering the question. I was just asking
Mm,
about the gender commission, as now
mm,
it's not a stand-up alone commission. It's now being joined or it's now being interjected in another commission, meaning the cases of gender-based violence will be treated as other cases, not special cases, but just other normal cases. So, do
other
you
normal
think this
cases.
is a trace of women empowerment, or
It is not. Like I said, it is quite impossible for us to get to where we want to get if it is just another case. Because I've heard some people mentioning that focusing on the girl child is now too much. We have heard you,
Yes.
we understand you.
Mm.
It's enough now.
mm,
How can it be enough when the boot is still here on the neck of a woman? We want that boot removed. I think it was Mpo who was saying um, in the rural areas mostly, there are still those patriarchal views, and a woman
Mm.
cannot be empowered in a community where everything is viewed patriarchal. So you
Yes.
notice that when these gender commissions are made, the voice of a woman, we have to look at numbers, like I was saying. What is the percentage of women in that room? Most of these decisions are being made without the very people that are being affected by them. So, how are we going to empower a woman? Really, this gender commission will make women empowerment impossible. The girl child will not be free. I mean, as women, we are the stronghold of communities. I think the women in this panel can agree with me.
Yes. Mm.
We cannot keep being strong. We need to be heard. We need that boot that has been here for many years to be removed so that we can empower women, so that we can move into rooms. You know, I've this is a topic that I really,
Very
um
close
mm.
to your
I've
heart.
heard people say if
women,
you
women with women is really good.
so it's usually said that if you want to get into rooms or if you want to create a space to cover a certain gap, you have to do it. Do not wait for someone else to open that gap for you. If you want to sit at a table, create that space. But if we are being honest, how many women are being allowed into these spaces? Even if we start a movement right now, when gender commissions like this Zimbabwean gender commission is treating this issue like just any other issue, how then are we going to sit at tables that really we can make decisions for ourselves? Because a woman can only understand a woman.
Mhm.
The
So
power of
how are we going to,
representation. Yes.
yes,
Mhm.
how are
Yes.
we going to make sure that we are being represented when a whole panel has men in it? The decisions are being made by men, and the percentage of women in those rooms is very small.
And
That's where
also,
we need to.
yes,
Yes,
can I
yes.
also add, yes, can I also
Mhm.
add on the issue of class, ne? We have class issues, ne? The black middle class people tend to forget that the experience that they face as a black woman, it's not the same struggles that someone in the rural areas experiences. When you are in a
Mm.
leadership position, you are in a position of money, you are in a position of class, you will want to actually say, these are my struggles, and I want to actually make sure that I dismantles these struggles. And then you tend to forget someone who is in the rural areas who does not even have a basic needs, or
Mhm.
whose husband does not even want her to work at all. But then also, again, we must make sure that there's a balance in what we are doing in the women empowerment. Yes, we want to empower women. We want women to be in leadership positions. But when we focus more on a girl children, we tend to forget the boy child. We must make sure that there's a balance. We are not trying to bypass men, but there must be a little bit of a balance in this thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Wow, wow, thank you for that. That even begs another question for me. I've realized that if we go to all the other sectors, let's say education. In education, we know that all of us, most of the professors were usually men, and most of the teachers, let's say primary or maybe nursery school, women. And when we go now to families, the father is the head, then the mother is like, let me just say, a bit of a supporter or someone who's behind the scenes. And we even if we go to religion again, the religion portrays like men are the fathers of the house and women are something in the house. So all of this, I just think that everything plays a role in affecting women empowerment. So we like, is there possibility of breaking through all of this? Because the balancing the equality between a man and a woman is really quite impossible if we have to look at it plainly, because this is a patriarchal society and
Yes.
the men are very strong. We know that. So, Umpo, I think you have something to say about that. Can you contribute to that?
Yes, what I had
You are muted, Umpo. You can unmute.
Oh yes, I had a conversation. I had this conversation with my varsity friend. I think it was last week. I said you cannot try to exist as women. We are trying to exist in a world that was not merely designed for us. It is a man's
Mm,
world. But
mm,
how,
yes,
yes, it
yes.
is a man's world because it is quite impossible. For example, if my husband get an offer in Cape Town, I'm in Pretoria, she gets an offer in Cape Town, she will leave me without a blink of eye. Would see, I'm getting
Yes,
an offer. I got an offer
true.
in Cape Town. And then a woman is expected to actually move. You move with the man. Would see, my man has got an offer in Cape Town. I have to be there. The family set up. You don't want to actually ruin the family setup. But then let it be a woman who gets an offer in Cape Town and he's in Pretoria. He would even reject that offer because my husband is here. Traditional norms and cultural norms, they're still there. Even if we can say we are empowered and stuff like that, but we still view those norms as our reality. So, how can we overcome such struggles?
Wow. Like, I even remember, do you know that India plays a very big role in women empowerment? I saw that their culture is different from ours in the sense that for us, the man pays lobola to the woman, which means like I'm taking the woman to my house. But for them, it's very different. It's quite opposite. The woman is the one who pays for the man. It's like the women are given these privileges. They are like the lords of the house. So I think in some sort of way, it's kind of like women empowerment if we have to look at it in another direction or angle. So Mpo, I think Mpo, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm still with you.
All right. And I hope Fadiso, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, all right. And Michelle, because I can't see your face, so I have to check in every time.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
All right, great, great. So That now has led me to ask the question. I think, yeah, Michelle, you haven't spoken that much, so over to you, Michelle. I want to ask you this. Do you think the other new emergences of other genders, like let's say these men who want to be women, like LGBTQ, gay, lesbianism, the radical feminists who want to overtake everything and be everything should be womanish. So, do you think all of this affects women empowerment in a certain way, according to you, Michelle?
Well, that's quite a loaded question, and you kind of pressed me down to choosing where to belong. But yeah, as we say, like identity is what someone chooses to identify themselves with. Like it's evolving nowadays. It's not like how we used to know. Like we only have like the boy and the girl, the male and the female.
Mhm.
It's coming up, and the strange part is how men want to be like women. It's like they are admiring like we women, while we women we are pressing ourselves
Mhm.
down, doubting ourselves. The men are trying to going out, dressing like us, acting like us. Again, it's a challenge to women. If men can try to change themselves to be women, then we women, you know, it's a challenge. It's like telling you, it's like you're not taking advantage of this opportunity that you have. So I have to come show you, like, this is how you're supposed to behave. But again, on the other side, looking at now female wanting to be male. So that one, it has, I can say, a lot of factors to consider. There's that girl who was raised maybe with a single mother, so the girl always knew, like, the mother being that protective aspect of it. The girl always knew, like, the mother is the father, and so how they grew up in that energy in them. So once they're growing up, they don't want again to be that, that young female who was pressed down. So even their mind is trying to fight the society, fighting, to survive. I have to be strong. I have to be like men. I can't press down in terms of my emotional. I can't press down in terms of how this young girl sees me. So looking at those two perspectives, it's quite wide, and I don't want to, kind of based on one thing. But overall, it's a new generation coming up. As we can see, the Gen Z, they're coming up again. And we as young women, we have to stand up and
Are we losing
Mhm. All
her?
right. Okay. And yeah, I'm still circling this question around.
Right. There's also something that I wanted to say, if you can hear me.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are, but I can't hear Fadizo.
I think we lost. I think you were losing me. Like, am I the one or she's?
Can you hear me now?
Uh, really, really, really sorry, everyone, but the network is
The network is really
no, no,
bad.
no, no.
Oh, this network is like telling
It's
us, you know
actually
what?
like I don't know for others, but it's very
You
like
know what?
I'm even now.
Reschedule.
I'm thinking of another. I'm just thinking of another meeting, another live session. We have to just talk about the network. Like no, this is very bad. This is too bad. Ah,
Yeah, it's
really?
bad.
Wow, wow. Okay, but Fuzzy, can you hear me? Right?
Yes, I can.
That's great. So, can you also share your perspective on the LGBTQ, the rising radical feminist women who want to dominate and like eradicate every man, and also maybe let's say lesbians. Do you think they have a factor in affecting women empowerment, according to you?
Okay, so this is a whole new generation thing now, right? And what I actually think is the introduction of the rainbow colors, the LGBTQ, is something that will actually get us where we want to go when it comes to women empowerment. And I say this because the new generation has a whole different perspective of how the world should be run, how we should be doing things, and everyone deserves to live how they want to live. So now, when we look at the new generation, well, no, let me take it back to how the old generation was. The old generation, obviously, very patriarchal. And it was not just because the world was designed by a man and women have no space in it, but also as women, for us to stand together and say, let us fight against the oppression that comes with patriarchy. It is also an issue. So it's not the men only. The women themselves do not want to get out of that, those ropes they are in. So we find other women judging a woman for being a feminist, right? So moving on to what I'm saying, the new generation now. The new generation is more open-minded. The new generation is saying, well, yes, it was patriarchal, but we are free now. We do what we want now. But when it comes to radical feminists now, I my view on radical feminists is they are now making it seem like women need to be above men. But what we need to be fighting for is equity and not anyone to be above the other. So the radical feminist part is something that I do not think is good for any empowerment, because we should not forget the boy child. Anything that happens to a woman affects the boy child. And anything that is happening to the boy child affects the girl child. Like I was saying, when it comes to how the state of the world is, how the state of an economy is, how the state of a community is, it all differs with levels of how anyone is living when it comes to their community. But anything that affects the other person affects the other. So at the end of the day, I think that as humans, we just need to fight more for equity. And when we do fight for equity and we understand each other at some level, or we decide to just try and live in harmony, maybe women empowerment can be reached, and we will find out that the boy child will not be suppressed, because where the world is now going, we are forgetting the boy child. So whatever we do when it comes to women empowerment, let us not forget the boy child. I think Mpo
Yes.
mentioned this as well.
Yes, yes, I did. Or we do not want to bypass the boy child. We want
Yes.
to, there must be a balance in this thing. There must be equity in this thing. But also, I think I blame also the apartheid because the black men now don't want to give up power. They don't want to give it up because the only thing they can say, Guti, even if I'm oppressed at work, the white man has oppressed me or exploited me or currently exploiting me. I will have a woman at home whom I will control. You know, you don't want to give up that power. You don't want to share it. You want it for yourself because at work you are exploited, at work by the white man. You know, as I said, Bell Hood said, black women are victimized by racist and sexist oppression. It's the
Mhm.
two system, and this two system like do not they interconnect. It's a system. It does not happen in isolation. They are interconnected. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mpo, for that, and thank you so much, Fadiso, for explaining. And I can just say, yeah, you did a wonderful job at clarifying radical feminists and the impact on women empowerment. Even you even dwelled on men who want to become women. Wow. So my question to Paul is, currently, as you work in the BRICS, yeah, it's a collaboration of countries, BRICS. So what structural changes are needed in regional platforms like BRICS to ensure young women have an equal seat on the table in economic diplomacy? Over to you, Paul.
Thank you so much. On BRICS, we literally focusing on economic development. How can we actually include women to be part of economic development? Because we can see with your power as a woman as the independence. You need to gain independence so that it can enable you to actually resist the things that you do not want to conform to. For example, we've been talking about the dynamics of BRICS relations, the diplomatic protocol, state protocol, women being involved in the Global South cooperation, exploring avenues for collaborations across sectors to achieve common goals within BRICS development, on women specifically, advocating for women for youth related issues and also multilateral contest.
Hmm. Wow, that's really good. But currently, would you say that the BRICS of 2025 and the BRICS of 2026, there's been an improvement in women empowerment?
I can't hear you, but I can see you
All right,
speaking, but I can't actually hear
you,
you.
you can't hear me again. Ah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. You can't hear me.
It has
What,
started.
Fadzi? No, I think I think it's your time again to to shine.
Okay, Paul, can you hear me? I think she can't hear the both of us.
Wow, the both of us. All right, I see. No, I think she should like rejoin again. All right. But anyways, up again to you, Fadi. So just to save time, as a social worker, I know that you have been exposed to many NGOs, non-governmental organizations, which focus
Yes.
maybe on women empowerment or let's say human rights, refugee inclusivity, and many more. But according to you, what are the strategies that these NGOs are using to empower women or focused on moving women to greater heights?
Most non-governmental organizations, especially in Zimbabwe, are focusing on economic projects, economic strengthening projects. And I, I think that is most of what I know of. That is what most of them are focusing on. And from my perspective, I think that women empowerment is bigger than economic empowerment.
Mm,
So
mm,
imagine a woman who is living in the rural areas and her husband is saying he does not want her to do anything because the power dynamics in the house, it's competitive now. So now the husband is saying no. And now most organizations are focusing on empowering the woman economically. Now this woman has to be stressed about how to do her side business, without her husband knowing. I think that we need to really shift our focus. We need to stop doing the same thing, especially in Zimbabwe. I think you know where I am coming from. Most
yes.
organizations do the same thing. If it is about climate change, it's the same thing. If it is about women empowerment, it's the same thing. If we are focusing on a lot of things, we do the same thing, but we really need to shift our focus. We need to be holistic about it. So
Wow.
I think we need to shy away from the economic empowerment. Let us brainstorm, let us be open-minded, creative about it. I really don't know how we can work on that, but that is something we really need to look at.
Wow. Interesting. Very intriguing. Firstly, before continuing, Mpo, can you now hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, now you're back. Amazing. So this begs a question for me, which is, I've seen that in Zimbabwe. I don't know of South Africa right now, but in Zimbabwe, most of the informal sector is filled with a lot of women. For example, like the tomato seller, the road street seller. I don't know if it's anything mostly informal. It's mostly comprised of women, especially if it's about groceries, clothes, especially if you go to Mbare, I think Fazito know it, you see a lot of
Mm.
women there selling. So I would want to say this is a form of women empowerment, but I think, like, just as Fazito said, on the economic part, women are really trying their best to overtake the market. But on the political part, it seems that women are lacking. So can you elaborate further on that, Fatiso?
Okay, so it tracks back to the point that I was talking about when I said that women need to be in rooms where decisions are made. And Mpo mentioned class, right? You notice
Yeah.
that in these rooms, it is a very privileged woman in that room. Someone who does not understand what is going on with a woman in the rural areas, does not even understand, does not even know what is going on there. So we need to change how we
Mm,
approach these issues
yes.
politically. The women in the rural areas need to represent the women in the rural areas. The women in a different community will have to represent women in that community because
All right, Fatiso,
if
I think your I think it's your visuals. Like your visuals are really like your visuals.
I
I'm not
can I
understanding, I'm sorry.
I can hear her. You can't hear her.
Can you hear me, Matthew?
Yeah, I think,
It,
yeah,
it
it's
has to be his network.
we are at it again.
We are back at it again, unfortunately.
We are at it again. Network crisis. Which
Yeah.
network do you guys use in Zimbabwe? Is it MTN?
No, we have Econet and Net One. Those are the main ones. It's only two. For you, it's MTN and can you still hear me, Paul? Oh my days.
We tried, but I think the connectivity is very bad, and let's end here for today. Um, Firstly and lastly, I would like to thank everyone who joined the session of today. It was really an amazing session, and I would love to thank everyone for their patience. We took more time than we thought, and we were going to end here for today. Let me just put that in. So, as I was saying, like we are now ending the session. It's like no, like I don't know what's happening, but our time is not very far, and I'm not even sure if this network will be stable because I think it's going to disrupt us just minutes later. So I think we can end it for today. And thank you so much for showing up. The others did also show up, but they were also facing the same issue. Teams network in Africa is one thing that you can never trust. So I thought I would trust it today, but it seems yeah, it went for a holiday.
That's something we need to
So
advocate
thank
for
you so
now.
much for
We
this
need to
show for
advocate
joining
for
us,
that.
and maybe